Welcome to the MousekaBros podcast. Hi, I'm Ryan.
And I'm his brother Randy. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at the MousekaBros. We'll be releasing new episodes every Friday, so make sure you subscribe to get the latest podcast. If you have any suggestions for upcoming shows or just want to say hi, you can email us at mousekabrospodcast@gmail.com.
If you're planning your next Disney destination or Universal Orlando vacation, you're going to want to reach out to me, Ryan Noppinger, with Capture the Magic Vacations. You can reach me at ryan.noppinger@ctmvagent.com. This is a no-cost-to-you service to use me as your travel agent. I'll make sure you get the best vacation package or deal for your whole family. I can also help make dining reservations and plan fast passes to make planning your Disney vacation less stressful and more magical.
On today's episode, we talk about the latest Pixar movie, Toy Story 4. But before we get into it, Ryan, as always, how are you?
I'm good. I feel like I just saw you.
I feel like I just saw you.
Maybe that was because yesterday we just planned our dining for our next family vacation trip,
whoop, whoop.
Which is exciting.
Whoop,
so
whoop.
I would say an episode's coming out soon for that, but that won't be literally until next year.
Yeah.
It's that far away.
I'm excited about what we picked, though, because, I feel like with every vacation, you always have your couple places that you always go to because they're good. They get good service, good review, good history with it. But not this time. We're actually changing it up. We're going to a couple of new places.
Yeah, I guess like 50-50.
Yeah. But I'm excited for the new places that we're going to.
So am I. It can't come any sooner.
That's right.
That is for sure. Well, just to talk about it before we get into it, spoiler alert, we'll say it officially. Through this whole conversation, we'll be talking about the whole entire movie, plot points, major characters, plot twist, maybe.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe even a murder. I don't know.
Not a murder. There's not a murder.
Okay, there's no murders. But anyway, we will be talking about Toy Story 4 and its entirety.
So before we begin, I just wanted to kind of throw out some numbers.
Give me the numbers. Give me the facts.
Let me give you the numbers. So opening weekend is 121 million. And then the lifetime domestic is 237 million.
That's a lot of dough.
That's a lot of money. Currently, it is ranked number 3. When talking about opening weekend and just Pixar movies, number 1 is Incredibles 2 with 182 million. Number 2 is Finding Dory with 135 million. And then number 3 is Toy Story 4. Number 4 actually is Toy Story 3. And that was about at 11 million. So only 10 million difference between Toy Story 3 and 4, which is still a lot of money.
Yeah, either way you look at it. But interesting that, right out of the gate, Toy Story 4 is already doing better, at least kind of the opening weekend, for above Toy Story 3. So I wonder if that will, at the end, show a trend of, will it overall beat Toy Story 3?
Right.
Is I guess, the good question.
Yeah. And it is currently ranked number 13 in the total lifetime profit that it's made. So there's 12 movies above it, and it is ranked number 13, which is actually kind of interesting that it's already ranked, like you said, 13, and it's a new movie. So, that's at its current state, and that was as if June 30th.
Right.
So it's only going to keep going up. So it'd be interesting to see where it kind of flat lines out.
Where it starts to go flatline. Yeah. So I guess a little timeline of the movies, because, Toy Story is absolutely one of my favorite movies. So Toy Story came out November 1995. I was actually 4 years old.
I was pretty old.
And you were negative 7 months.
So that's fun.
At that point.
That's fun.
Yeah. Toy Story 2 came out November 1999. I was 8. You were?
3.
So I do remember Toy Story when it necessarily came out, but I remember seeing it. And then in Toy Story 2, I remember that even more kind of over Toy Story. But then
I remember nothing.
I know, not until maybe this one. So Toy Story 3 came out June 2010. I was 19.
I was 13.
Yeah, so then that's probably when you roughly watched probably
remember.
1, 2, and 3. Or 1 and 2 right before you probably saw 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I did that just because
Yeah, I
love it.
Yeah, we took a big trip for that, actually, that one. We went up to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Saw the premiere. Went to the Mint. That was fun.
Don't go to the Mint.
Don't ever go to the Mint.
It's where they make money and you think that's cool, but
it's just a big factory.
Yeah, it's not that cool.
Anyway, back to Disney.
So then Toy Story 4 just came out, well, it's July now, but in June 2019, and now I'm 28 and you're...
I'm 22 when we record this episode.
Yes.
But when this episode releases, I'll be 23 because it releases on my birthday.
Well,
whoop, whoop.
Happy birthday.
I don't know what the song
Bring
was.
in... I don't know. I have nothing to bring in. I thought I was going to have a cake.
Like dancing lobsters or something.
Sure.
Like, bring in the dancing lobsters.
Sure.
All right.
No, I couldn't afford dancing lobsters.
I mean, you could dress up as a lobster and dance.
I could have. I'm sorry.
We're gonna Photoshop
Next year.
We're gonna Photoshop your face on something.
Next year for sure. So kind of to go right into our discussion and not talk about dancing lobsters any longer than we need to, I guess kind of the main question of it all to start it off is, did we need a Toy Story 4?
Is that like are you asking me?
I am asking. I know.
No, that's my answer. No, I don't think there needed to be a Toy Story 4. I think Toy Story 3 kind of wrapped up the trilogy because you grew up with Andy. Andy gave his toys away, and it ended, and that was okay. It felt kind of like a cash grab because of Toy Story Land opening at the parks, but it was still well done. But I don't think it was necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, it's a cash grab because money. Let's face it, who doesn't want more of it, I guess, and especially Pixar needs more of it. But, again, like you were saying, Toy Story 3 wrapped up so nicely with kind of Andy handing over all of his toys to Bonnie that you have now grown and loved since, the first movie in 1995. And then, a couple of the shorts along the way that have come out recently over the Christmas specials. But it ended. I cried enough during Toy Story 3. Why would you want to make me cry again?
Yeah.
But but again, not that I'm sad that they made a Toy Story 4 because we'll talk about it, but like they could do a Toy Story 5, and of course I'm going to go see it, especially if it has Woody and Buzz, just because it's Woody and Buzz and it's the toys that we've grown up with through our childhood, which I guess is interesting. But I mean, they could have left it absolutely Toy Story 3.
Yeah, they didn't need to touch it.
And done, but
at least they did a very, very good job with it.
Yes, no, that's to say the least. And I guess that's, that kind of double-edged sword there where we would have been fine with Toy Story 3 ending it, but we're not necessarily mad that Toy Story 4 was a thing.
Right. Because, a lot of movies, movie series kind of do this, like The Conjuring, right? It has Annabelle and The Conjuring, and that's all like one kind of universe. And they just came out with a new movie, and it was a complete cash grab, and it wasn't good. So people went to it and, spent their money, but then were angry about it because it wasn't a good movie.
Yeah.
So at least Toy Story 4 is the complete opposite. That it is a cash grab, but it was done very well. So I didn't mind spending the money.
That's definitely one thing about Pixar is they know what they're doing. They know how to make an animated movie. They have done it in the past, and they'll continue doing that well.
Yeah.
And it's also to note, too, that, like, out of all of the sequels and movies, like you had Cinderella and Cinderella 2, you had Pocahontas and Pocahontas 2. Not necessarily, it's all Disney, right? But so Disney owns Pixar. But for Toy Story, kind of Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3, they have grown in kind of money that they're bringing in. And, the ratings have just gone up and up and up and up for the sequels. We're on number 4. I'll be interested to see if number 4 gets higher than number 3. But, for any sequel, how it's supposed to go is the second movie is supposed to make more than the first one because you want to see it again. You want to be with the characters again. And Toy Story 3 then was higher than Toy Story 2, which again was perfect. So I'll definitely be interested to see if 4, is, I guess, as profitable or makes as much as Toy Story 3 did.
Well said. Well said. I don't think there's anything else that I can really add to that. So let's move on to our next topic. And what sets this movie apart the most for you, Rye?
I don't know. I mean, of course, Forky, right? It's kind of the full. If you haven't watched any of the shorts with it, it kind of, to me, maybe it could feel a little rushed because you don't know Bonnie that well, at least. But in that regard, it is completely new and different, so they can take the story wherever they want to go. And especially with, Bonnie starting school now, starting kindergarten, is that kind of like, this is where, she needs the toys. As far as what sets it apart from, the other ones, I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like, does it make sense that they all kind of go kind of like their separate ways?
Yeah.
Like, as in far as, like, Woody actually finds out, like, I guess who he is after Andy.
Right.
And that's a major part of the movie, as he is kind of doesn't know who he is anymore because he's not being played with as much with Bonnie because, yes, he was Andy's favorite toy, but not so much Bonnie.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's actually a really good point. To me, it almost gave out kind of the Cars 3 vibe that, Cars 3, it wasn't about Lightning McQueen racing anymore. It's him about being the coach and helping other race cars become race cars. It's kind of that same vibe that Woody kind of finds out that it's not necessarily having the enjoyment of being played with, but with helping somebody else, another toy, getting that same enjoyment.
Understanding
yes.
who Forky is.
Right, like the bigger picture. That's kind of what this vibe gave off.
Yeah. I actually really, really enjoy when kind of Forky lets himself go out of the RV window, and then Woody kind of goes after him too, and they're walking to the street, back to the carnival, back to the RV park, and Woody explains the whole entire story to Forky, and then at the end, like, he's like, "Oh, I get it. I'm Bonnie's trash." Like
right.
That's a really kind of, highlight of the whole entire movie, as far as kind of Forky, or kind of Woody helping Forky figure out who he is, which is really, really cool.
Absolutely. For me, what I think sets this apart the most, other than kind of the message, like I said, is the actual animation itself. As time goes, technology grows. So it's better technology than Toy Story 1, right? Like, that's just a given.
Right.
Toy Story 1 came out in 1995. It's now 2019. Obviously, a lot of technology has changed in between that time. So the animation itself was very realistic in the sense that, Woody and Buzz looked like toys.
Yeah,
there was a second that it was like, oh gosh, is this a live action movie?
Yeah, I mean, they look better.
Yes,
I mean, there's tons of posts and like kind of zoomed in pictures of the texture that they have now given kind of like Woody's outfit and Bo Peep's outfit, as far as like this sounds dumb, but like the cotton looks like cotton on a t-shirt that Woody's wearing or Bo Peep's wearing. Like, whatever the material is, like Forky's what are they called? The sticks. Gosh.
Pipe cleaners?
Yeah, the pipe cleaners. Like, they look like actual pipe cleaners. I mean, of course, they're supposed to look like actual pipe cleaners. But they look good. They look like textured pipe cleaners.
Yes,
That's enough about pipe cleaners.
I completely agree. The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
The spork look like a spork. I mean, who am I to say?
All right. You want to move on to the next topic, Ryan?
Yeah, I guess, well, kind of on that, kind of what set it apart, what was your favorite part from it?
Favorite part? It would have to be when they are in the antique shop and they enter the pinball machine at the very first time.
Okay.
My favorite part is if you kind of look around of all of the characters that are in there, and the fact of who even answers the door.
Yeah, Tin Toy.
Yeah, Tin Toy. He's from a Pixar short from
one of the very early ones.
Yeah. When Toy Story was released onto home video, they took Tin Toy and put it on the home video, so it actually got released with Toy Story. So it was like kind of a cool, like a really nice throwback. And then there was even just a bunch of other characters. So that, like, if you're a true Pixar fan, true Disney fan like we are, we are going to look for all of the Easter eggs that they put in. And when they entered that pinball machine, it was like, oh my gosh, look at all these Easter eggs right in front of my face. Like, it was a really, really cool feeling.
Yeah, even the store. Even this, the Second Chance store.
It had everything.
Tons of, Easter eggs in it. And, I mean, there's YouTube videos that go on for, 20, 30 minutes just pointing out all the Easter eggs. And it's probably still not all of them.
Yeah, they probably still have some that are still undiscovered.
Yeah, and, I do love that for Pixar. At least for my favorite part, I mean, face it, it's hard to pick out kind of a favorite part.
Absolutely.
I can't even pick out a favorite, Pixar movie. I can't even pick like a favorite Disney Pixar, like out of the whole universe. I can't pick, a favorite movie just because I'm so indecisive, I guess, in that regard. But as far as, I guess, a favorite point, I guess mine, again, is kind of going back to Forky knowing that he's trash.
Okay.
And he keeps saying trash. Which is actually, it's really funny because, like, that's all he was made for.
Right.
And I kind of like his whole entire, all the way through, like we just talked about kind of, Woody walking back, Woody and Forky walking back to the RV and, like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm Bonnie's trash. Like, I really, really like that part of kind of him figuring out kind of who he is and then, like, still giving that, like, trash kind of line, but like, he's Bonnie's trash, right, which is kind of funny.
You think they're going to come out with, like, T-shirts that says, like, I'm your trash, or just, like, trash written all over the T-shirt?
Or not trash.
Yeah, not trash.
They could. Well, funny you say that. I mean, not that it said, I don't think it said trash on it, but close to when the movie came out, Disney had a stuffed, like, plush Forky that then has recently been kind of, like, recalled because of the pipe cleaner arms.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a possible choking hazard.
That's kind of...
Yeah.
I mean, it's not funny.
No, it's not funny, but, like, it's kind of sad because I was there the time that these were out, and I wish I would have picked one up.
Yeah.
But not having seen the movie yet, I didn't know if I was going to like Forky yet.
Right, so you didn't want to buy it just to
But
buy
now
it.
I like Forky.
And you're like,
I'll just go make one.
Make a Forky? It's not going to be as good.
What?
It's not going to be as good?
It'll be a homemade... It'll be my Forky. It'll be my trash.
It'll be your trash.
I'm just going to fill the office here with Forkies. Just a bunch of sporks. Anyway.
All right.
Well, to move on, I guess, talking about the movie, about the happy points, about our favorite parts, how much did you cry? Did you shed a tear?
I did not cry at all.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
So my thing is that I wish there was a longer scene between Woody and Buzz. Like, I wish their goodbye was, like, the ultimate goodbye.
Yes, but I think their short goodbye at the at the end of the movie, but I mean they're completely like hundreds of yards apart, and Buzz is like to infinity, and then it cuts back to Woody, and he's like, and beyond, and it's like.
No, it was absolutely heart-wrenching.
I'm like, oh no.
Like, I would have wished it, like, here's my ideal scene. Like, it's raining, Woody's crying, Buzz is crying, they're slowly walking towards each other, and then Randy Newman in the back is just slowly, you got a friend in me. And they're just, like, walking towards each other, and the hug. I'm crying right now.
I see. I'll get a tissue for you. Hold on.
I just wish their goodbye was like the ultimate goodbye.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, that we're talking about kind of the sad point of the movie of them kind of all leaving each other as again, a spoiler that, Woody kind of breaks off from the pack at the end of the movie there. I feel like that whole entire goodbye was kind of a little like rushed.
Right. Exactly, because they were all saying like goodbye. Oh, we're gonna be friends forever, hugging and everything. And then it was just like, oh gosh, like we're right back into the action, and they all got to leave because the RV's pulling out. And it was like, I understand what they were trying to go for, but it kind of took me out of the moment. It was just like oh come on, like they couldn't have hugged for 2 seconds longer.
Yeah, no. I wish it would have been a little bit more. I would have needed 800 tissues rather than just the couple that I used at that point.
Yeah, okay.
If it was, any longer. But no, I definitely did, welled up a little bit and shed a tear. As far as crying, well, I mean, like, how about any other sad parts? No?
I didn't cry at all during the movie.
Mm.
I was almost there. But I got nothing.
Pixar just gave you a little bit longer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I needed, just a little bit longer.
Well, let's talk about, I guess, move on to some of the characters then.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's start with Forky. Let's give your impression of Forky.
Again, before seeing the movie, I didn't know how I felt about Forky, and I feel like at least I kind of do that with all of the movies. I kind of see like when it introduces a new character that's kind of a main character, like I guess Forky kind of like, I don't know whether they call him like a main character or like a main supporting character.
No, the story completely revolves around him, so he would be the protagonist.
Yeah, completely. So at the end of it, I like him. I do like him, especially his journey. And I've said it, so I won't say it again. But like, his whole journey of being trash, which is nice. How about you?
Yeah, at first I was like, him saying trash and going to a trash thing. How long can they really do this? But then once he jumped out of the RV and Woody and Forky had that heart to heart, and then like you now are actually seeing the character of Forky.
Yeah, especially like then the friendship after that Forky and Woody have.
And Forky had more lines than just trash. You could really see the person, I guess, that Forky was trying to be. And that's what I really liked. He was kind of funny with just trash. Then it started to get a little old. Then after that, he became really funny, and like I really enjoyed him. In this movie.
I did like the part when he was kind of captured by Gabby, and he was like, "Oh, Woody will come back for me," or Gabby's like, "Oh yeah, Woody will definitely come back for you," because like, I mean, we'll get into that, but. He's like, oh yeah, Woody, oh yeah, he'll come back for me. I've known him all my life, a whole 2 days.
Yeah,
like that was funny.
See, my favorite part with Forky was when they were walking the antique store, and he was like, oh, like why are we here? Who are you searching for? It's like, oh, I'm searching for my friend Bo Peep, and then Forky is just walking, and he's like, Bo, 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 Bo.
No, that was
Bo.
funny.
Like it was stupid, but it was really funny.
It kind of took the serious kind of a little bit off of it.
Yeah.
Which I think Pixar does well in that regard.
Yeah,
making
absolutely.
like the serious and just like completely just makes you laugh out of nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so let's move on to the next new character. Canada's favorite all-star, I guess, Duke Kaboom. Played by Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, now before like knowing kind of seeing the preview for it, seeing Duke Kaboom, I'm like, oh, okay, like another, new character, but not knowing he was played yet by Keanu Reeves until kind of, I guess, more press stuff came out from it. I think I like him more because I guess he is Keanu Reeves.
Right.
So it kind of gives me that likeness to Duke Kaboom.
Yeah.
But I guess if it had been anybody else, I guess I could have gotten maybe a little tired.
Yes,
like him,
absolutely.
Like, pose.
But like the way Keanu played it was very, very funny.
No, it absolutely was, and kind of a nice kind of again a relief to it. How about another new set of characters, Ducky and Bunny,
played by Kane Peele.
Yeah.
They were very funny.
Yeah, they were very, very funny.
They absolutely knocked it out of the park. But one of the favorite things from them, and kind of like their main joke, because you've seen it in like commercials, but when they do the plush rush and they attack the old woman.
That's absolutely my favorite part.
Oh, it's hysterical.
Yeah.
Because like they did it like a couple of times and it was like almost right away and it was funny. And then they were like, all right, wait for this last plan. And like it just goes through the entire night.
Oh, yeah, that was hysterical.
Because like you were like, oh my gosh, they're going to attack her. They're going to attack her now. Okay, they're going to attack her now. And it just went on, kept going. And you're like, I don't know when they're going to attack.
Until she fell asleep. And then you're like, oh, this is it.
Yeah, it was a really, really funny build up.
No, that was absolutely funny. And good kind of, especially a lot of comic relief, from them. Even though, again, with Duke Kaboom and Ducky and Bunny, they weren't kind of a focal point, but a good kind of side character with side history from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Talking about, I guess, the last new character or characters, because I guess they kind of go together, Gabby Gabby and Benson. How'd you feel about Gabby Gabby?
I don't know. It was like an interesting plot almost because it wasn't as if, like in Toy Story 2, so Woody is, kind of captured almost and taken because Woody completes the set. And it was all about Woody being perfect. With Gabby Gabby, I kind of got that same vibe. But at the same time, if another toy walked in and had a voice box that was the same year as Gabby Gabby and everything, then like Woody wouldn't be her main focus. So it was a good twist on it when actually thinking about that. Really, for Woody, it's just wrong place, wrong time. That's all. That's the only reason that she wants his voice box.
Yeah. I will say for Gabby Gabby, of course, she is kind of built up to be the villain, right, of it all. I think that went on for too long.
Okay.
I think once she kind of got the voice box, like, I don't know, I feel like they could have done without some parts, because by the time then she had her moment towards the end where she found her child, I still didn't like her because she's been the villain the whole time. And like I get like I guess that history between Woody and her, like that forgiveness, and again Woody like helping Forky is helping Gabby Gabby. That's like Woody's role through this whole entire movie.
That helps
is
him
helping
realize
other toys.
I like helping toys.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I was too built up to her being the villain that when in the end, when she's all like, cute, sweet, and look at me, I'm a cute little toy. Like, not that it like, not that was a cute moment, because it definitely was, but it could have came, I think, maybe sooner or differently. Just, I don't know. She was too built up to me to be the villain that when it came time for her, I was like, okay, good. Like, she can, get out of the film now.
Right. Like when they meet Bo Peep, and I guess we'll talk about her in a second, but when they meet Bo Peep in the playground and she's like, oh, we got to go back to the antique store because Gabby Gabby has Forky, and she's like, oh, you got to stay away from Gabby Gabby. Like, if she wasn't built to be the main villain, it would have been interesting if she wanted Woody and she was, a villain towards Woody, and then, it was like, oh, we got to go back because of Gabby Gabby and Forky. And Bo Peep would have been like, oh, really? That doesn't sound like her. Like, she's not evil type of deal, to kind of help soften the mood almost.
Yeah, especially like you said with Bo Peep and her saying like, oh, you don't want to mess with Gabby Gabby. That already kind of meant that Bo, or at least, in the second, hand antique store, that they've already had history and it's not been good.
Right, that she's been a villain for so long.
Exactly, and now her present time with Woody is not good. She's a villain. So then when it came time for her forgiveness and blah, 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 I just wasn't, I don't know.
Right,
didn't strike my fancy.
Right, and maybe we're wrong. Maybe it could be done differently. That's why we're doing a podcast and not writing movies that are making $121 million.
We should write our own movie.
It would not do well.
Well, I mean, the script might do good, but it would just be a bunch of stick figures like drawn, on the screen.
Oh, I can't draw, so
no. It would be a stick figure with a round face.
I'd mess it up.
And it would either have long hair, short hair, maybe even a hat with a little twirly thing on it.
And we can do the voices. All right. Share this with people if you want us to write a movie and make it.
That'd be bad.
Please don't share it. All right, well, let's talk about Bo Peep. Let's move on to Bo Peep. Not necessarily a new character, but she was missing in Toy Story 3 and then reintroduced in Toy Story 4.
Yeah. Sad that she wasn't in Toy Story 3. But I guess I get it, not necessarily being Andy's toy. I liked how the movie started off kind of with more of that kind of back history of, Bo Peep being with the time of Jessie and Bullseye, helping out with Andy.
Right.
And things of that early, and you kind of see that transition of where she went. Right.
And her being given away kind of explains why she wasn't there in Toy Story 3. Although there's now kind of like a loophole almost, because in Toy Story 3, I don't know what the exact line is, but Bo Peep isn't in there because she's just lost. She's just missing right now, and they can't find her. But then in Toy Story 4, they give her away, so it's, I don't know. There's like a loophole, I guess.
Yeah. But either way, I'm glad she's back for Toy Story 4. Definitely a good character, in this whole entire movie, especially Woody and Bo Peep's chemistry. They've had it in the first one and in the second one. So, with reintroducing her as kind of like her own, kind of thing, strong, independent Bo Peep, which is, a good thing in this, for this movie. At the end of the whole thing, Woody kind of running away with Bo Peep kind of gave it that romantic feel. It's what you wanted through the entire movie anyway, for them to just go and be together because they have chemistry.
Absolutely. Well said. I can't really add anything to that. I think Bo Peep served her role in the movie. It was very well done. I really liked her character all around. And, I like that it was kind of this, she's adventurous and, freedom and all of that. And she doesn't have a child to tie her down.
Yeah, her arm's broken.
Right,
literally.
Right. No, but the fact that she's like, oh, I don't need a child anymore, because they only give me away. And I'm not about this team. I'm in it for myself, basically. And then after Woody gets captured and everything, she's like, wait, that's not who I am. No toys left behind. Woody would never do that. I need to learn and never do that. And you even see that throughout the movie, because she is kind of longing for a child, longing to be played with a same child, not like on field trips.
Yeah. No, definitely. I'm glad she's back for sure. And actually, with that, with the new Disney Plus streaming service, they will have kind of a spin-off called Lamp Life, with Bo Peep particularly, and it's basically what she's been up to since Toy Story 2. So kind of that time since Toy Story 2 ended, or I guess since that scene in kind of Toy Story 4, which was Toy Story 2 technically, from the time she was kind of given away to the time she showed back up in Toy Story 4, which again will be very, very interesting, especially I guess because it won't have Woody or Buzz in it.
Right.
Which will be an interesting point for that.
And I think it would be interesting because really they can take it as long as they want almost.
And wherever they want, because they can introduce hundreds of new toys.
Right. Right. It'd be interesting though if at some point, if this series ends, is it a series or a movie?
Series, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. So it'll be interesting to see if this series ends, with her, the last scene of the series is her being given away to the antique shop. And then you're like, oh, okay, now it's Toy Story 4. It'd be interesting to see how she breaks her arm and all of that.
Yeah.
If they show that.
Yeah, if they show that for sure. Yeah, that'll be absolutely interesting. I kind of wish it was maybe more of a spin-off of Woody and her, and what they do kind of after Toy Story 4, but that's just me
yeah, but that would be Toy Story 5.
See more
right, no, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. But with that, Toy Story 5, what do you think? Do you think they would do a Toy Story 5? Again, we thought Toy Story 3, they were going to leave it. It was done. It was over. and then they announced Toy Story 4, and here we are.
Yeah, I can absolutely see them two doing a Toy Story 5. I don't think there needs to be one. I think they, like Toy Story 3, I think they ended the story okay. If they did a Toy Story 5, it wouldn't feel like the same Toy Story, because it's not going to be Woody being played with Bonnie or something, or Buzz may not be in it and all of that, or they really have to find a way to force Woody and Buzz together, and then it might just not work, not make sense, or I don't know.
Yeah, no.
They could do a Toy Story 5, but I don't think they should.
No, absolutely. They could, they could have, again, they could have a meetup again just randomly on whatever kind of Woody and Bo Peep come to do. They run into the gang again. Great. For Toy Story 5, great. But again, like you said, Toy Story 4, okay, let's get it. All of the main focal points from the original Toy Story are done. There's no Andy anymore.
Right.
And Buzz and Woody kind of went their separate ways in good respects.
Right.
And that's it.
Right. So if they did Toy Story 5, it would probably just be Woody, and his adventures with Bo Peep. Because let's be honest, with Toy Story, Woody's kind of always been the main focal point. He's always been the main character. Buzz has been that supporting character, a main supporting character who is, just as big as Woody, but the story has been about Woody. That's what Toy Story 1 was, that Woody wasn't the toy anymore.
Exactly. I don't know. Maybe they could do a Toy Story 3.5, like they did with Lion King, something just silly like that. But again,
or even they can't really do a prequel, because if they did a prequel to Toy Story, it would just be Woody. It wouldn't be Buzz, because Buzz doesn't come into Toy Story.
Yeah.
So
they could do more like I said, a 3.5,
right,
with more of let's get to know Bonnie a little bit more. But now after this, it's
well, we know it, right? Yeah,
we kind of get a feel for it. But I guess what I'd be looking for is something as much as far as what we had with Andy.
Yeah,
and what we knew of Andy, and then it kind of was Bonnie at the end of Toy Story 3, and now Toy Story 4, and now she's lost a toy, Woody.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so moving on. Speaking of Andy, did you mind the young Andy remodel? And basically what we mean from that is, if you go watch Toy Story 1 with young Andy, he's one way, but in Toy Story 4 with new technology, they kind of redesigned him a little bit. And the internet kind of went crazy that they redesigned him. So did it bother you at all? Did you have any thoughts about it? Did you even know that was really a thing?
No, of course you knew it was Andy, and of course you knew it was different. Technology gets better over time, especially from 1995. So of course he's going to look different, if not in some regards better, from at least the 1995, and at least as far as animation goes. Not that, we know anything about animation, but no, I didn't mind it. With the whole kind of, I didn't know that the whole first scene was going to be kind of
like a callback almost.
What would have been in between Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3 scene of Bo Peep leaving. I didn't know that was kind of at the beginning.
Right.
So, to me, to see Andy in it and to see that kind of whole, and to see Andy again was nice.
Yeah. It was we did spend 3 movies with him. It was nice that Andy was there.
Yeah, to show where he's now become, because that focal point in the beginning was kind of then where the movie ultimately ended, was, Woody and Bo Peep back together, and that was it.
Yeah. No.
So no, I didn't mind it at all.
Yeah, no, I didn't mind it at all either. If you kind of look back at Toy Story, all of the kids at Andy's party were in fact Andy. Toy Story didn't have a big budget, so they didn't kind of they didn't design 5 other characters. They just took Andy's drawing and put different clothes, maybe put a hat on him. So, I'm kind of happy that they kind of remodeled him. It wasn't that big of a remodel. It's not like they...
Yeah, I mean, you knew it was Andy, and that's all that needed to be.
Right. It's not like they completely changed Bonnie, or like, the remodel was now Andy's a girl. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't really... They just drew him better with better technology.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely all that was. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what other points we didn't hit. The bonus scenes, because you kind of gave that to me. So right at the end of the movie is, again, maybe a little bit more, maybe like that night or the next day of kind of Woody and Bo Peep's adventure, where they're just giving toys, they're helping other toys find homes.
Right.
Which is, what Woody kind of signed up for.
Right. It's what he learned. It's taking what he learns in Toy Story 4 and then putting it into action, and it was a very nice touch. And then the scene after, I think there's a scene right after that is Ducky and Bunny kind of doing the plush rush, where they become
giant eyes.
Right, and they're making noises, which is like funny. But it's like not really a main post-credit thing. No. The one after that, though, is Bonnie goes to first grade, and the exact same thing happens. Instead of Woody in the bag, it's Jessie in the bag. And she comes out, and she's like, hey, Bonnie had a great day at first grade. She made a friend. Everyone's like,
she made friends already?
Right. It's the exact same thing. And she's like, no, Bonnie made a friend. And then we're introduced to Knifey.
Is that the name?
I don't know, probably, or just Knife. I don't know.
Knifey. No, but then and then Forky it's like ends with like a googly eye scene with Forky and
Knifey says trash, and it's like funny.
No, and Forky.
No, toy. And then like the question, which I think kind of goes over, the kids' heads, but like the adults I think got it when Knifey goes, how am I alive? Because like Forky's like, well, I'll tell you everything. How am I alive? I don't know. Like it was like I don't know. It was it was a really funny joke.
Yeah, no. But those scenes were really, really good. And then I had no idea to wait after the complete credits, because at the end,
so the Pixar symbol comes out, and normally Luxo Jr., the lamp that bounces on the eye, would come out and bounce on the eye and kind of like end the movie. But the Pixar logo comes up, and Duke Kaboom actually comes out on his motorcycle and circles the eye as if Luxo Jr., and then Combat Carl comes out, who was one of the soldiers in the playground. It's the one that wanted a high five, and he comes out, and Duke Kaboom actually high fives him, and that's how the movie, officially ends.
Yeah, the one Combat Carl that doesn't get a high five
finally
gets his high five. Right, and that was kind of like I feel like everybody in the theater was like, "Oh, like I'll give him a high five. Let me give him a high five. Come here, little guy."
Yeah.
And then it gets it at the end. That's cute. I know. I wish I would have, stayed for that. I think that would have been, a cute, couple second scene, just to finish out an awesome, really, really good movie.
Yeah, I like that the post-credit scenes, or the bonus scenes, whatever you want to call them, don't like set up other movies necessarily, kind of like what Marvel does, that the post-credit scenes will be like, oh, take a look at the next movie that's coming, or like it'll have a call, I guess forward would be a call back, but like introduce a new character or like set up the next movie. Like I'm happy that it doesn't set it, like it just stays contained, which I think a Pixar child movie needs to do, is stay contained within itself.
Yeah, like Nick Fury didn't come out at the end of it with the Pizza Planet initiative and was like, hey, look,
that would have been a really funny toy, though.
We're getting a team together.
Yeah, instead of Combat Carl, it's like all the Avengers. That'd be really funny. I'd watch that movie.
That'd be hysterical. Well, anyway, any final thoughts on Toy Story 4?
Actually, it's not really a thought, not really a topic, but it's a fun fact. This was actually the first Pixar movie to not have a short in front of it.
Yeah, I kind of did miss that, and I was expecting it, honestly. I said a couple times to my wife when we were going in, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see like what Pixar short it is, like, because I hadn't heard about any of them, for the Toy Story 4 movie. Well, of course I didn't hear anything about them because
there isn't one.
There was none, which was, I was going to say that because that's what Pixar, again, is known for.
Right. This actually started this tradition with Bug's Life in 1998, and every Pixar movie has had a short. I did a little research, and basically there wasn't a short because they didn't have time to make one because of the new technology that Pixar is now using to make all these movies, render all of the drawings. They just didn't have enough man hours to create a short, design a short, along with, designing
a full-length feature film. Yeah,
which I don't know if I believe because Disney has money. Disney's going to have the man. They can have a team dedicated to a short,
right?
But that's besides the point.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what they said. So we have nothing else to believe them.
Right, exactly. We can't really argue
and just be sad until the next Pixar movie.
Yeah,
for a short.
But there should be, should be a short from here on out.
Maybe two shorts for the next movie.
Yeah,
we deserve one.
So every Pixar movie has had a short except for Coco. That one had a short. Do you remember what that short was?
Wasn't it Frozen?
Yeah, it was Olaf's Adventure.
Right.
That short got pulled out of movies after being a 21-minute short.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine watching basically a 30-minute short to then watch a full-length movie. I mean, so that actually got pulled from movies, the movie theaters because it was so long. Yeah. But everything else, every other Pixar movie has had a short except this one. So be interesting. Fun facts.
Well, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review as it helps us improve the show. And as always, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.